Welcome to Life Gun Cigar, and today I'm going to do a quick video on an assembly and disassembly on a Maverick 88, which is extremely similar to the Mossberg 500. It's actually made by Mossberg, interchanges about 90% of the parts, if not more. So if you have a Mossberg 500, you can follow the video and it would be the same. The only slight modifications is the safety and such. All right, so first things first, let's make sure we have a safe weapon. So, chamber is clear. Nothing in the tube. Now, to disassemble, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pistol grip off. Use a 1/4 inch wrench to loosen this. Now this is a pistol grip stop. If you have a full stock, you can have a longer bolt, but the way you take it off is the same. All right, so the pistol grip's off. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the barrel off. So we're going to unscrew this nut at the end. Turn that counterclockwise till it's loose, and the barrel's going to lift right off. How to add the other stuff. I have a light laser combination on the end, so I'm just going to unplug that and then pull that off. I've already loosened these nuts so it slides right off. Obviously yours won't have that unless you have a light on yours. Then we're going to take apart the lower receiver. So we're going to use a pin punch. In this case we're using a 4mm or 5/32 inch punch. And we're going to push out this pin right here. Push that through. Pin will fall out. And if you're like me, you just throw the trigger assembly on the ground. Luckily I keep my work area pretty clean, and so it's easy to get to. So there's trigger assembly, that's out. And then you take the cartridge or shell hold in, out I should say. You then take the cartridge or shell and a ruptor out. They just hold in by friction and by the trigger assembly being on there. So once you take that out, they may just fall inwards. Then you can remove the bolt assembly catch or holder, for lack of a better term. You can then remove the action bar and tube assembly, and then you can rotate or push out the bolt. That'll come right through the front, and then the shell elevator can be removed by just pinching together and pulling it straight out. Now if you want to go further than that, there's a piece right here. I don't know if you can see that. And that's what the bolt rides along against. So that's right there. That is screwed in. That's the end of the screw there. You can see the screw in there, just a flathead screw. You can unscrew that out, and what that is, that holds the bolt in this groove here, so it slides back and forth without tilting. So that can be easily removed if you wanted to clean that. The magazine tube can be removed just by unscrewing it from the receiver itself, and then you can get to the plunger and follower and the spring. Alright, so if you want to clean the action tube or change the fore end, you unscrew this part here, this nut right here at the end. If yours is real tight, there's 2 grooves in it that you can use, 2 notches to put a wrench or a similar item in there. You can actually use a punch or such to wrench that. So bear with me, it's about an inch worth of threads here. Once you unscrew that from the action tube, I think they call this the action tube nut, you can then remove the foregrip from the action tube assembly. And there you have it. Now if you want to disassemble it further, the bolt can be disassembled by removing this pin first. That would remove this block here, which pivots on that. That will give you access to the firing pin and spring. That can be removed, the firing pin and spring, by punching this pin right here out. So you're going to punch that down and out. Then you can remove the firing pin assembly and spring. And the two extractors, there's dual extractors on these, same as the Mossberg 500. You have to punch these pins right here out. Let me show you them. All right, so pin here and pin here. Drive them out through the bottom, and then you can remove the extractors and the extractor springs to clean all that. All right. It's a bit of a pain. I'm not going to go into it today. If you want to clean the trigger assembly, you can do such. Just remove these pins here. So you have one pin here, another pin here, another pin here. That's 3 metal ones, and you have 2 polymer ones also. So one pin there and one pin there. In doing such, this all can be taken apart and you can clean inside of here. It won't be necessary very often, so it's not something you're going to need to do every day. All right, for reassembly, we're going to do basically, of course, everything in reverse. So we're going to reassemble the foregrip and action tube assembly. Once that's tight, you're going to put the shell elevator back in. That's going to snap in, the pins on the elevator are going to snap in right here. So now that that's in, we can then put the bolt assembly in. Remember, the extractors go forward and slide in through the front of the receiver. And we're going to put that about halfway. Okay. And we can put this piece in, the hook. We're going to put in, oh, getting ahead of myself. I'm going to put the action tube in. So slide that through, and you're going to put that just so that notch here is past this line. Okay. And then what that enables you to do is drop that in, and then it'll all catch. So now, see how it's moving? Then, before you go any further, you're going to put in the cartridge interrupter. It's going to pop right in, and it's going to pivot in this pin here. That's attached to the cartridge interrupter. Then you're going to put the shell catch in. So they're both in now. I'm just holding them in with my fingers. While you're holding them in with your fingers, take your trigger assembly. Slide that down and on and in. And you can put your pin back in. Of course, mine's fighting me. Sometimes it's hard to do it while you're on camera. I'm trying to do everything that way. So, barrel goes back on. I find it's easiest to do with this in the halfway position. For me, I forgot. I gotta put my light on. Alright, now we can put the barrel on. It's going to slide down and in. And you're going to screw that in so it's nice and tight. And now the barrel is in. See, there's no edge there. Okay, now we can check function. Opens and closes, everything's locked in nice and tight. We can put the pistol grip back on. And you're going to screw this down nice and tight. Last thing you want is your stock or your pistol grip coming off in your hand in the middle of shooting, especially if it's the middle of the night and you're using it for self-defense. So, now it's all back together. Done. And there's the laser working. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not. All right. So there you go, disassembly and reassembly of a Maverick 88 or Mossberg 500. The biggest differences, in case you're wondering, between the Maverick 88 and the Mossberg 500, other than, of course, the Mossberg 500 being made in the US and the Maverick not, is the release for the action bar is right here. That's it right there. So you're going to see it move in a second. I'll pull the trigger. You'll see it slap up. Okay, so that's the one difference. The other is the safety. It uses a crossbolt safety on the Maverick 88. It used right here in front of the trigger. On the Mossberg 500 and 590, it's right on top of the tang here. Now some people will like that and some people will dislike that. Obviously with being up here, it's ambidextrous. I, however, kind of like the cross bolt here and this here because if I'm using it on a pistol grip, I can actuate the action tube assembly with one hand. So I can actuate that with my thumb while I'm still in my pistol grip configuration, and the same with this. Whereas if I had it on top, I'd have to rotate my hand up to actuate the safety here. With it being down here and here, I can actuate everything with my thumb and fingers without having to take my hand off the pistol grip. I just have to rotate it a hair, or not at all, depending on the system I'm using. Okay, so that's it. So thank you for watching.